Welcome back to the channel, D-MANTV. Myself, D-Man. Thank you for joining again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Help the channel grow and all of that. And I appreciate it. Yeah, just a quick one. Where do we start? It's happening, isn't it? Yeah. Isak has unofficially handed in a transfer request. He said he wants to explore his options away from the club. So we all know what that means. The news came in this morning after it broke that he wasn't going to join the rest of the team on the tour to Singapore. And in my earlier video, I explained that it wasn't nothing to do with this injury. The club were lying to us. There was more to it. And here we are. Turns out I was right. So does it come as a surprise? Given the recent events, not so much. You know, it all started, we've seen the speculation with Liverpool and whatnot. You know, we've kept the stance that he's not for sale. But then the debacle of the Celtic game, the fact that we changed our stance, or Eddie Howe did, in a matter of 2 hours, you know, from managing minutes to committed to the club to send him home. And yeah, it appears his head has indeed been turned. Now, where does that leave Newcastle? Not in a particularly good place. You know, we're still scrambling for deals. We're now going to be, it looks like we're going to lose our best player, our number one striker. My only hope is that we get a significant fee for him. The rumor is it's around 130 million pounds. I don't know if it's true, but you know, if that includes add-ons, then so be it. But do I trust the club to spend it wisely? Now, given the fact that there's no CEO in place, there's still no sporting director in place, who's going to be negotiating these deals? The same people that have been negotiating Elanga, the same people that have been negotiating the rejections for all the other players that we've gone for. The Ekatike saga doesn't leave him much confidence. There is rumours that we are going to get a sporting director in place in the coming days. How much influence will he have on the upcoming transfers for this window? I don't know. But it leaves us in a precarious situation because, yes, we can get the money for Isak, which would be great. You know, if he doesn't want to be here, the next best thing is get the right money for him. But does that give us enough time to spend on a replacement, considering that Callum Wilson's left, so we still need to get another striker through the door? Are there going to be adequate replacements? Selling clubs now will know we have money, so are the prices going to be inflated? And we know that Newcastle, as a club, we set our price for players and we don't go above it. So we could be in a difficult situation then. Then who's available? You know, there's links now today to Sesko, good striker, bit raw. Does he really want to come to Newcastle? There's been no indication that he does. So is that going to be drawn out? Are we actually going to get him? Are we actually going to go for him? You know, if we was to get Sesko and Vissa, is that adequate replacement for Wilson Isak? Some will say yeah. Time will tell, but that's a big if we get both. There's talks that, you know, Wissa wants to come to Newcastle and only Newcastle. So there's hope that deal gets done over the weekend. But what kind of message does it send to the other players as well? You know, they're seeing us lose our star player, or eventually lose our star player. Are other players going to think the same next summer? They want to see, you know, the club's not showing enough ambition. We're going backwards. Do they see their future elsewhere? The likes of Tonali, Bruno, Botman, even the fullbacks, Tino and Hall, what would they be thinking? It's interesting to wonder what their views on Isak is at the moment, but there's no talk. Listen, I think it's gone past the hope of keeping him or changing his mind or offering more money. I think it's well past that. If I'm honest, I think he's had the conversation with Liverpool. He only wants Liverpool. You know, there's talks of Saudi. He's not going Saudi. You know, they're hoping that he goes to another team in Europe who's got the money, just PSG. They don't particularly need a striker. They don't play with an out-and-out striker. So it looks like all roads lead to Liverpool. And that's a scary sight. It's a scary thought, should I say, because if they've got Ekatike, they've got Wirtz, they've got and Isak to already a great team, a great squad, it's pretty much over for the Premier League. You know what I mean? It seems not fair, but listen, this is the game, innit? We just have to react. You know, we've been there before. You know, way back with Andy Cole, when we lost Andy Cole, we replaced him immediately with Les Ferdinand and then Alan Shearer. So we built from there. Liverpool, they lost Coutinho years ago. They used that money to invest wisely. Can we do the same? Because it looks like Alexander's played his last game for the club, and I say it's worrying times, but let's give the club the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how we recover, how we react. You know, the window's still got time to go in the window. It's not ideal. Pre-season has started, but it's not the end of the world. It's just about how we react. And I want to see this. If he's gonna go, I want to see this deal get done quickly. You know what I mean? I'd be interested to know what those watching the video think, the Newcastle fans. You know, what's your thoughts? Can we get the right money for him? Where would you spend that money? Do you trust the club to spend that money? On who? Who would you recommend? Because I think, is it Openda been mentioned as well? I don't know. I don't know. Me personally, Isak was one of my favorite players, so you know, I'm a bit upset that he will be going. But I can understand it from his point of view. You know, we dicked around with the contract talks. There's rumors that he wanted a contract. He was offered a contract when Amanda Staveley was in charge, and then that got, you know, taken away when Mitchell arrived. Talking about he had 4 years left on the contract, he was well paid, and we focused more on Anthony Gordon, and I think that upset Isak and his camp. You know, going back on our promises, and maybe it's too late. And add to the fact that the club that's really pining for him are the Premier League champions, who look like they're going to retain their trophy. You know, they got, you know, a good chance of winning the Champions League, and they can offer him more money. And let's be honest, you have the chance to play with the likes of Van Dijk, Salah, Wirtz, and whatnot. 9 times out of 10, a player is going to take it. Yeah, we're not the big club that we think we are. This is probably a harsh lesson, but it's something to aspire to. I'd love to be in Liverpool shoes. You know what I mean? Love to be able to spend like Chelsea, like Man City, but we know that the league's against us, the officials against us, but we're getting there slowly but surely. But it's going to take some time, and we're going to have to go through trials and tribulations like this, losing our best players, and again, it's how we react. But listen, he's not gone yet. He's still a Newcastle player, but how we handle this will tell us a lot about the club itself. But going to keep it short and sweet. Let me know what you think. As I said, like, subscribe, comment, leave your comments below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.